I don't even know what time it is. Late. Or early, depending on how you look at it. I've been staring at this one spot on the ceiling for about 40 minutes. You ever do that? Just staring. My brain is doing this thing again. It's like a browser with 70 tabs open, and I can't find which one is playing the music. Except it isn't music, it's just noise. I was thinking about this thing I said to a cashier earlier. It wasn't even a big deal. He said, enjoy your meal. And I said, us? You too. Normal people forget that in 3 seconds, but me? I'm sitting here in the dark, simulating 14 different timelines where that cashier thinks I'm an idiot. It's exhausting. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. But I think we're all kind of burning our lives away in these little mental simulations. We call it thinking. That's a nice, dignified word for it. But it's not thinking. It's a glitch. You ever notice how the more you think about something, the less real it becomes? Like if you say a word over and over again, say the word table 20 times, eventually it just becomes this weird sound, it loses its meaning. That's what we do with our lives. We take a perfectly good moment, a dinner with a friend, a walk, a quiet afternoon, and we table it to death. We analyze the tone of a text message until the words start to look like hieroglyphics. Why did they use a period instead of an exclamation point? Maybe they were busy, maybe they're tired, but no. Our brains want it to be a conspiracy. We want to find the hidden code. It's like we're trying to solve a puzzle that doesn't actually have any pieces. We're just staring at an empty table, sweating. It's a weird way to spend the only consciousness we get. I read a lot of sci-fi, and honestly, it makes more sense than most things. If you think about the human brain like a piece of hardware, we're basically running on ancient code. Our software was designed for a world where overthinking meant, is that rustling in the bushes a tiger or just the wind? Back then, the overthinker survived. The guy who assumed it was a tiger lived to see tomorrow. The chill guy got eaten. But now, there are no tigers. The rustling is just an email from your boss, or a comment on a photo. But our hardware doesn't know the difference. It still triggers the same alarm. It's like, imagine a supercomputer, a massive planet-sized AI, and instead of using it to calculate the birth of stars or solve physics, it's stuck in a loop trying to figure out if a girl from high school liked its post ironically or not. What a waste of processing power, right? We're these incredible biological machines, capable of perceiving the universe, and we spend 90% of our RAM running a simulation of a conversation that happened 4 years ago. It's a memory leak. Our lives are lagging because we're running too many background apps. I don't believe in, the plan or whatever. I think we're just here, briefly. But there's this thing in philosophy, phenomenology. Basically the idea that the world only exists as you perceive it. If that's true, then overthinking is literally rewriting your reality into something worse. Think about it. You're at a party, you're having a decent time, then you start thinking, does anyone actually want me here? Am I standing weird? Why am I holding my drink like that? Suddenly the party changes. The music sounds harsher. The people look colder. The physical reality hasn't changed. But your reality is now a nightmare. You've thought yourself into a different dimension, a worse one. I don't know. I feel like we're all accidental time travelers. We're never actually here. We're 5 minutes in the past, regretting a sentence. Or we're 2 days in the future, worrying about a meeting. We're ghosts haunting our own lives. We aren't even living in the present. We're just watching a delayed feed of it in our heads and criticizing the production value. The ego trap. Here's the part that hurts a little. I was thinking about this the other day. Overthinking is it's kind of narcissistic. Wait, hear me out. I know you're thinking, no, I overthink because I'm insecure. But think about what overthinking actually is. It's the belief that everyone is watching you. It's the belief that your every move is so important that people are going home and talking about the way you parked your car. It's this weird fantasy where you're the main character of the universe. But newsflash, nobody cares. I mean that in the nicest way possible. It's actually the most comforting thought I've ever had. You ever walk down the street and see someone trip? You think, oh, hope they're okay. And then 5 seconds later, you've forgotten they exist. You're back to thinking about your own problems. Everyone else is doing the same thing. They aren't judging you. They're too busy overthinking their own lives to have any space left to think about yours. We're all just these little bubbles of self-obsessed anxiety floating past each other. Once you realize you're not that important, it's like a weight lifts. You're allowed to be awkward. You're allowed to mess up. Because in the grand cosmic scale of things, you're just a blip, a tiny vibrating blip that worries too much. I try to catch myself now when the simulation starts running. I'll be in the middle of a thought spiral, usually about money or work, the usual stuff. And I try to just look at my hands or look at a tree, something physical. It's hard. It's like trying to pull yourself out of a black hole. The gravity of the thought is so strong. It wants to suck you back in because thinking feels like work. It feels like we're doing something. We think if we worry enough, we're preparing, like we're building a shield against the future. But you can't prepare for life. Not really. The things that actually ruin you are always the things you never saw coming. The black swans. Thinking is just an illusion of control. We're sitting in the passenger seat of a car, hurtling through space, and we're screaming at the dashboard because we think it'll help us steer. It won't. The car is going where it's going. Maybe the only real hack, if I'm allowed to use a phrase that annoying, is just realizing that the thinker isn't you. I read this thing once, that you aren't your thoughts. You're the person hearing the thoughts. Like, if you can hear a voice in your head saying, "You're a failure," who's the one listening? That listener? That's the real you, the silence behind the noise. I don't know, I'm still working on it. Some days the noise is just really, really loud. Anyway, I should probably try to sleep, or at least close my eyes and pretend. You ever look at the stars? I mean, really look? In sci-fi, they always talk about the vastness of space, how it makes everything seem small, and people think that's depressing. But I think it's the only cure for overthinking. That light you're seeing, it left that star millions of years ago. By the time it hits your eyes, the star might not even exist anymore. It's a ghost of a ghost. And here I am, worrying if I sounded weird on a Zoom call. It's ridiculous. We're these brief flickers of consciousness on a rock spinning through a vacuum. We don't have time to be this stressed. We really don't. So, I don't know if you're listening to this and your brain is currently running 1,000,000 miles an hour. Just try to notice the room you're in, the weight of your body, the fact that you're breathing. The thoughts, they're just clouds. They're not the sky. The sky is still there, even when you can't see it. I'm gonna go now. My ceiling spot is starting to look like a face, and that's a whole different problem. Go to sleep. Or don't. Just stop believing everything you think. Most of it is just noise anyway.